What's going on, everybody? You found Bottom Tier Collector, and I am your host, the Bearded One. As always, thank you for liking, subscribing, commenting on my content. It's always much appreciated. So today, we got a brand new trying new things episode, and I'm kind of cheating here, but I still think it fits in the spirit of what I'm trying to accomplish with this series, which is for me to experience new things and new characters, and also for you guys to expose you guys, the viewers, to new things and new characters. And so I think first appearances and origins also fit into the spirit of the series, which is trying new characters essentially. So I think along with the first solo #1 issues that I originally thought I was only going to do on this series, I'm also going to include first appearances and origins to kind of broaden the scope of this series and give myself an opportunity to make more content. As you can see, you've got the Fourth World dust cover here. This isn't a review of the omnibus, but this is what the dust cover looks like. It's a bit used, a bit damaged. I use and read this omnibus. I haven't finished it, but it's definitely gotten its use. I love this cover. I think there's some variant dust covers, but yeah, that's what my dust cover looks like. So I got my bookmark placed here, and we're gonna open up to New Gods #7. And since this is an omnibus, I'm gonna apologize I'm going to apologize first for any gutter loss you might see along the spine. That's just the nature of the beast with these omnibus. So it doesn't say on the cover, but this is supposed to be the origin of Orion, and that's why I've chosen to read New Gods #7 today. In the beginning, the new gods were formless in image and aimless in deed. On each of their 2 new worlds, their races had sprung from a survivor of the old, the living atoms of Balder, and gave nobility and strength to one. And the shadow planet was saturated with the cunning and evil which was once a sorceress. For an age, these new gods pursued their own destinies, until the time of the great clash. It would start on New Genesis with these 2, Isaiah and the Inheritor, and his wife Avea. Happiness, the first sign of coming tragedy, in an imperfect state. In moments like these, wife, the warrior softens and sees the land is not a mere logistics map. Are we made for war, Isaiah? You know I've never heard you sing. From time to time, this kind of segment will supplement the larger tapestry of the new gods. Thank you, Jack Kirby. So we've got Avea and Isaiah contemplating war and such things. Looks like in their free time, and I believe these are. I believe these 2 are the precursors to High Father and the New Gods. Sing, Isaiah. Let me hear your voice when it's not a battle cry. I can't sing as yet, Avea. It's your devotion that feeds my aching spirits. You've got this weapon, master. Now take the warrior. Begone, Avea. Ha ha ha. And so I shall. Careful, uncle. Steppenwolf of Apocalypse and his demon raiders. Can't you find enough of your brutal sport among your foul kind? Look out, uncle. You've snared Isaiah, the Inheritor. He's a new Genesis leader. Listen to that voice, Steppenwolf. It could save your life. This affront, you'll forfeit yours. So right away, in the middle of Avea and Isaiah's free time, they're being raided by Steppenwolf and his raiders. We can kill him, master. Give us the order. Bram! Stand back. He's my kill. I'll hang his skull on my trophy hall. I'll hunt where and what I wish, Isaiah, and I claim even leaders as my quarry. Arrogant dog, I'll take him. We can't risk the life of my uncle. We obey. What is this? How dare you fools interfere? Suddenly, pow! And now Steppenwolf. We'll see whose skull hangs in exhibition. No, Isaiah, no. What? So this is not the Steppenwolf I'm used to from the movies. Definitely someone who looks a lot different. Steppenwolf is as savage as the things he hunts. He sees the moment behind him, he whirls and fires a fatal radion bolt from the butt end of his cable snare. Uncle, what have you done? Your quick trigger finger has betrayed your better judgment. Silence, I didn't see the female until it was too late. Avia has succumbed, Uncle. The damage is done. Isaiah will never rest until she is avenged. Then stand back. We'll have it done with here and now. A duel to the death would please me indeed. No, Uncle, this is the way. It's best to finish such an enemy quickly and leave this place. And so the two are joined in death. These killing gloves, designed by my good friend Assad, do a swift and thorough job. It appears strange to me that this friend of yours, who thrives on living victims, would produce a device which kills with such speed. I don't trust you, nephew, or your bizarre companions. Would you care to examine the body, noble Steppenwolf? There's no need. I know I'll find no sign of life. Let me add further, dark side. I don't like you. You're clever and cunning and a plotter, like my dear sister, your mother. Your name is most great and feared, Uncle. But remember, my mother rules Apocalypse. Blast you, dark side. I don't know the meaning of this poor day's hunt, but by every demon, I'll not forget that you suggested this foray on New Genesis. And he has engineered the incident. Darkseid has begun the war. Isaiah is still alive. So, Darkseid and Steppenwolf went on a hunt, I presume, to test this new weapon Darkseid has engineered. I guess he wanted to see if it would kill a new god or whatever Isaiah and Avia are. And he didn't kill Isaiah. And so war is coming to New Genesis and Apocalypse. The Great Clash, a shattering event which will haunt the new gods for ages to come, roars in upon the demon world of Apocalypse. Summoned by vengeful Isaiah, teams of flying monitors bring fiery destruction in their wake. But far from being a chronicle of the conflict, this is instead the story of personal struggles and the strange forming of the Pact. War! Apocalypse is under attack. The enemy has broken through a parademon air defense. Weapons unit, open fire! So, everything until this page was a prologue prior to this story, and now I'm assuming we're time jumped to present time in the war between New Genesis and Apocalypse. The monitors are relentless, and they range all Apocalypse in fierce waves. Somewhere Isaiah has drawn the main demon forces in battle, so the large de-energizing bombs can get through. I've reached my target. The blazing energy pit below shall burn no more. Bomb release death to the power of Apocalypse. Where its power is created, there must it be smothered and snuffed out. And that's exactly what the bomb does. It plunges into the planetary pit, and with one mighty burst sends its giant store whirling electrons flying from the core which feeds it. Zoroosh! What's left is a dark, silent pit, miles deep, miles wide, and the power snatched from the weapons of Apocalypse. So, big bomb attack here on Apocalypse. Apocalypse soon finds a protective counter move, and the war rages in full fury. The royal bunkers will serve our needs at present, Steppenwolf, but we don't plan on a long stay. Do you understand? Our forces are striking back. We'll smash the enemy at any moment. Fool, you constantly forget my title. I am your queen, and and not the sweet pixie you once called Sister Negra. You are brash, arrogant, loud. You command an army which only produces battles and body counts. It might be refreshing to listen to one who is cool and wise, like my own darling Darkseid. Well, Darkseid, it seems you wanted this war. It might be well to learn how your inexperience would deal with it. You've no lack of confidence, I'll say that for you. What's that you hold? A small metal block, sire. You see, I spend time with our technicians. It occurred to me that in this new age, we must seek new roads to tread. Thus, in this small product, we may have found one such road. So here we've got the villains plotting on Apocalypse after the attack on Apocalypse from the New Gods and New Genesis. This contains a new but unstable element created by accident here on Apocalypse. The block fades from view, but it vanishes. Fear not. See, it returns. Now, wouldn't it be nice if we found one being who could harness this for Apocalypse? At that instant. What? Metron of New Genesis? How did we get here? The X element, it's mine. On your world, Darkseid, it's mine. And on my conditions, did you obtain it, Metron? You recall our private meeting? For Apocalypse only will you create the matter threshold, the door to anywhere. What this element does, your armies will do. They will step across vast distances in the wink of an eye. Only I possess this unobtainable element to build my Mobius chair. Take it, Metron. Take it and fulfill your scholarly pursuit. So here we learn of a secret meeting between Metron and Darkseid gives Metron back his X element to build his Mobius chair. Metron, would you take your leave without acknowledging the sovereign status of a most powerful and renowned lady? The Queen Mother, you academic chicken, bow that bald pate you call a head. I beg you to overlook my preoccupation with other thoughts, Majesty. I regret that raw threats must awaken me to a common courtesy. I like you, Metron. You're a nice boy. Does it bother you to create the means for mass slaughter? I have no link with the old gods, or new. I am something different, something that was unforeseen. On New Genesis or here, you'll betray us all in time, Metron, but this thing you shall build for us. Poor Metron, he's gone, and how you handled him, Darkseid. How you modestly brought forth a great victory this day. I am your servant, lady. Hail, Darkseid! Who but Hera could have borne such a son? So here we're learning a lot more about Metron. Metron is really fleshed out in these 2 pages. And, it's amazing what Kirby can do with just 4 panels. We've learned that Metron really has no allegiances to New Gods or Apocalypse. And he's working on building a weapon for Darkseid. Before the boom tube, before the technical wonders produced by Metron, there flashes into being the raw energy of the matter threshold. Apocalypse armor coming out of nowhere. And across the threshold rumble the dragon tanks of Apocalypse. Give ground, but try to stop them. New Genesis vaulters rush destructipoles against the invaders. But many fall, even as their weapons are thrown. It is still an age of heroes, and in the inferno of the great clash, there are beings on New Genesis who find another kind of immortality and tragic extinction. Raid upon raid is made everywhere on New Genesis. From one such threshold leads a snapping unit of dog cavalry, led by Steppenwolf. Cut down the enemy, give no quarter, stand fast for New Genesis. This is work to my linking. Had Darkseid led this raid, it would have lost its glory. Feel the burning bite of my electro-axe, you heroes. Praise your sons, Darkseid, for yielding this command to me. This is where a lusty warrior should be. Whack! So here we've got scenes of the great clash. Steppenwolf leading a charge with his wolfhounds. When Steppenwolf leads, the carnage mounts, until the battleground winds beneath the agony of mass death. Nothing lives in his path yet. The enemy suffers, staggers, and still holds the field. The enemy is a hardened, fearless, unyielding force. Then, open the lines. Let Steppenwolf come through. The leader waits for him. Too bad, I yearn for that honor myself. Resistance melts before Steppenwolf. He finds himself alone and blasted out of his saddle. Boom! Welcome back to New Genesis, Steppenwolf. Now, to finish what we once began. Who are you? The risen dead, eager to exact a long-awaited vengeance. How my heart leapt when I saw you leaping from your demon pact. Think, Steppenwolf, think hard. Isaiah, the inheritor, Darkseid didn't kill you, but I won't be cheated. Whomp! You'll never kill again, Steppenwolf. So Isaiah reveals himself here. I'm not sure who this Galactus wannabe is, but the splash page is really cool. Him blasting from his arm here. But yeah, we've got Isaiah here revealing himself, and he's got the upper hand on Steppenwolf so far. Finishing Steppenwolf, Isaiah turns the cosmic power of his war staff on the other raiders. Take to your heels or die. Back to the threshold. All is lost. The raiders vanish through their dimension door, and only the wind supplements the echoes of battle. I hear you approaching, Metron. I could sense a silent witness to this fight. Have you come to survey your handiwork? This war is your doing, Isaiah. Can I help if both sides seek to use me? And when it serves your purpose, you cooperate, and warriors die because of it. Yes, like Foul, Steppenwolf, Darkseid knew he'd meet you here. Darkseid, how I want him destroyed, and yet he lives, he climbs, step by step, by intrigue. He got war by war, he got power by power, he got Steppenwolf. I've always known it. The real enemy was obscure and humble Darkseid. Of course, look, while Steppenwolf lies dead from a frontal fight, Darkseid has leapt in from the rear. With a deadly rain of planetoids, he's making this a techno-cosmic war. Scream-boom! Techno-cosmic war produces techno-cosmic machines. Machines that draw debris of space and send it crashing down upon New Genesis. On Apocalypse, Darkseid has made good use of Metron's methods. Giant biological mutations are bred in Apocalypse laboratories, turned loose to pillage and kill. New Genesis fights back with equal innovation. Skrow. Wherever the giants tread, the ground beneath their feet cracks wide from seismic shock and swallows them in its deep recess. But the war grows ever larger. It reaches across the universe, and mammoth suns are transformed into cosmic lasers designed to cut New Genesis into blazing, lifeless shards. So here we've got more scenes of war. Steppenwolf is defeated by Isaiah, and Metron reveals to Isaiah that Darkseid is the true enemy of New Genesis. And here we've got Jack Kirby narrating more conflict on the Great Clash and how these techno-cosmic machines have risen up to make the collateral damage even worse. Larger grows the war. Larger grow the god machines. In an impact the size of a planet is sent crashing into an enemy-captured sun. And inside Isaiah of New Genesis, something dies. With each such deed, where will this end? How can he destroy the cosmos and yet save the New Genesis? We are worse than the old gods. They destroy themselves. We destroy everything. This is Darkseid's way. I'm infected by Darkseid to save New Genesis. I must find Isaiah. Where is Isaiah? Not the warrior, the general, but the true servant of those he leads. Not here in these tortured ruins of war, but Isaiah is there, somewhere out there. Out there is an ugly landscape, empty of all that was once New Genesis. Its soft green forested lands are gone. The rotting hulks of war machines instead of trees. This has become Darkseid's world. A wasteland, seared, cracked, and gaping with endless pits in which bacterial monsters fester and play. Darkseid's plan, like foolish Steppenwolf, I've allowed myself to follow the bad dreams of Darkseid, from which no one can survive. I tear off my armor. I reject this war staff as a weapon. I reject the way of war. Darkseid's game is not mine. Where is Isaiah? Where is Isaiah? The dry wind rises and the elements disturb the sky. Violent electrical flashes twist and stab across the darkened land. Isaiah! So here we've got Isaiah looking for himself, his true self, his anti-war self. This is Jack Kirby playing on some philosophical, what am I trying to say? Some psychiatry here, you know. There's some deeper meaning here. It's the inner struggle within Isaiah to reject the ways of war. The echo becomes a roar. The roar becomes 1,000 drums beating into the mad music of the windstorm, driving the quest spirit. To the wall, ageless, inscrutable, it stands as if waiting in the sudden calm for Isaiah to communicate. If I am Isaiah the inheritor, what is my inheritance? And from the wall the answer comes. Fa-boom! The source. And across the wall, a hand of flame brings Isaiah to the unifriend. Soon after Isaiah returns his command he dresses in the clothes of peace and carries a new staff. Messages fly between New Genesis and Apocalypse, and while curious Metron busily works his Mobius chair, a secret bargain between Isaiah and Darkseid is struck. The strange conditions form the Pact. On Apocalypse. What have you done with our son, Darkseid? I know he was taken from his quarters. Where is he? Where he can at last serve me usefully, a tool for peace. Haven't you heard, Tigra? There is to be an age of peace. I hear nothing in exile. Even my spies failed to bring me news until this day. You've kept us apart. Our son was raised without ever knowing his father. But I know him, Tigra. He's like you, a fighting, snarling, killing cat. It was the queen mother, not I, who chose you for my mate. But the war has claimed her life, and I rule now. Enough! Where is our son? He is your pawn in this new scheme. At a signal from Darkseid, Tigra is carried off by her struggling guards. It won't work, Darkseid. He'll live, he'll grow, he'll kill you. Take her away. Let's put an end to these events, to this war. Has the Dimension Doctor been activated? Granny Goodness is in the chamber, awaiting the arrival of the child from New Genesis. So here we are, finally getting the origin of a character who we're not sure of yet. I suspect right here, Isaiah created the source wall. And I suspect Isaiah is going to become High Father, but we shall see. And then here we've got Tigra, a mother, pleading with Darkseid, warning him that if he does this, the child will grow strong and come to kill Darkseid. And here at the end, Granny Goodness is fixing to prepare Darkseid with his son. Good. This exchange of heirs will seal the pact. Isaiah wants peace. I want time. Time to redefine power. To make this bombed out waste a meaningful pursuit. Moments later, Granny Goodness enters. Hail, great Darkseid. See what I hold. See what was so gently nudged through the dimension threshold from New Genesis. Isaiah's will, this will hurt him. He's surrendered his prized lamb for a tiger. He's been given some mild sedative, I think. There is a serene and fragile quality in his features. We'll stamp that out, won't we, Granny? We'll jam him into that clanking mechanism you call an orphanage. All those rigors and trials heaped upon the training warrior shall be doubled for him. His spirit will flag and his bones will ache until sire? He may conveniently decide to escape from Apocalypse, Granny. Of course, on that day, the pact I agreed to will be broken. A fine day will be dear to your heart, sire. Therefore, in its honor, I shall name the lad scot-free. Ha ha ha! Then Darkseid marks his order to the Dimension Chamber. Send my son through the Dimension threshold. It's the order. get rid of that animal before I kill him. Let me go, you dogs. I don't want to go into that. Let me go. Murderous little monsters, at last he's out of our sight. Cirque, where am I? There was no wall here when I came through. Come back, come back. Shunted always from place to place for reasons never revealed to him, the savage offspring of Darkseid and Tigra moves cautiously into this new and seemingly sinister chamber. Fools, I kept them so busy they never noticed this hidden weapon. Then the boy emerges into an adjoining room where an elder with a staff sits at a table, bent in grief. Father? I was told I'd find my father here. If you're my father, speak. You won't speak to me. You'll never speak to me. You hate me. Hate me. Hate is no longer a word in this place. Put down that weapon, son. You are my father? Only if you wish me to be. I am High Father, and you are Orion. We need of each other, Orion. This is a place of friends. Here is my hand. No, I... The hand or the weapon, Orion, I too had to make that choice. Decide. You speak to my liking. I trust you for now. First, trust, Orion. Then, who knows, a great destiny perhaps. Thus it began, and we moved forward once more. Next, Orion, Light Ray, Calibanc, and the death of Wish, Terrible Turban. So here we've got the origin of Orion here. As I suspected, Isaiah became High Father. Now, I'm not sure if he created the source wall. Maybe he created the wall that Orion traveled through. So this was the inheritance Isaiah was talking about, Orion. And we've got an extra feature here, so we're going to continue on. If you would like to jump out of the video and leave here now, that's totally cool with me. However, I'm going to continue on with this extra book here, and we're going to read it through to completion. The Young Gods of Supertown. I saw it, Viking. It's making its way to the surface of New Genesis from these subtunnels. You're a finder. That's why I summoned you. I know, to locate the danger and illuminate it. From the germ warfare used in the Great Clash, a race of strange beings had evolved, beings that thrived beneath New Genesis and grew to plague the gods. Be careful, Viking. Concern from Stragna, the hermit, is indeed a compliment. Viking has the power to trace and reconstruct atomic patterns. The tunnels pitted by many burrow openings hold the sought-after pattern. I believe Viking the Black is one of the Forever People. In one such burrow, the power flares from Viking's eyes in nebulous but hideous shape forms against the darkness. I'm right. It went through this burrow, and it's a monster. Suddenly, yeah! Viking rears back and smashes his attacker against the wall. Bam! Somewhere in its head is a weakness. Experienced Viking takes full advantage of it. Zop! It's fleeing back to the inner warrens. Thank Highfather that thing has a genetic weak spot. Viking's timely action has diverted a sinister curiosity from becoming a menacing horror, for above him on the surface of New Genesis he can hear the laughter of young at play. The danger to them has passed. So I suspect a creature from Apocalypse was sent there, and Viking the Black thwarted the threat. I think that's what happened here. As you can see, we got the next issue of Mr. Miracle. Going to put the bookmark there for me to read in my free time. I'm going to pause this. I'm going to get on camera, and I'll give you guys some thoughts here at the end. Alright, guys, just give me a second to get in my chair. Alright. I don't have fancy editing to cut all that out. So, Jack Kirby's The Fourth World. I'm having such a blast with this series. As I mentioned in the halfway point check-in, Jimmy Olsen's Superman's pal Jimmy Olsen's not really my favorite run of the epic. However, there's New Gods, some of the best writing I've ever come across. Now, it's wrapped in the trappings of 1970 or 71. So it's a little corny. Steppenwolf's costume was pretty corny. I'm pretty thankful that he was reinvented. I think he's reinvented a New Gods later down the series. However, in this first appearance, I believe, of Steppenwolf, not really my cup of tea, like his costume. But the story was really interesting from the beginning to the end. I'm loving hearing about this great clash between New Genesis and Apocalypse, and then I've finally got the origin of Orion. I know it firsthand now. Also got kind of the origin of Highfather. That's not featured in Key Collector, but I had no idea Zaya becomes Highfather, and then potentially Highfather created the Source Wall. Now, I could be wrong there. If you're more informed on the Source Wall, put it in the comments below. I don't want to say for sure he created the Source Wall, but that's potentially what I gathered from that scene of him creating that wall or whatever. And overall, I just thought it was a really interesting story. I think it's kind of funny, the thought of Darkseid having a wife. I always picture Darkseid being just some like asexual, like above love kind of thing. And it's funny to see a more humanized Darkseid. It's interesting here. Zaya and Metron, I believe, are talking about Darkseid, how he's the calm and cunning and patient Darkseid. And I just have always known Darkseid as this dark tyrannical overlord. I never read about his ascent to power, and this is his ascent to power. You know, his mother dies and he finally takes over. I had also heard that Darkseid was a former New God, so I don't really know. I don't really feel like that was answered in this issue, but I didn't need it to be. Overall, I really like the story. We can get into the details of the scripting, but the plot, the story, what Jack Kirby's truly building here in the New Gods series is really fantastical and really epic, and I just love reading about the New Gods. I honestly don't even need it to be part of the DC universe, but I think maybe that's some of the draw, is that it's connected to the DC universe. Maybe I wouldn't have ever checked this out if I had known it was disconnected to the DC universe, but so far, I think at the time this was written, it wasn't intended to be part of the DC universe. And so, so far up to this point in the story, I'm totally fine with it being pretty disconnected from the DC universe, except for Superman and Jimmy Olsen being in the series. I don't really grade these read-throughs. I will say this much: fantastic issue. I'm having a blast learning about Orion. He's the character that this focused around. We didn't get a lot of Orion, and so I didn't get to talk about Orion much. But I like the origin of Orion, how him and Scott Free were traded in a war pact to create peace. Unbeknownst to Highfather, it was Darkseid just biding time. Highfather was truly trying to seek out peace. And we learned that when Scott Free breaks out of Apocalypse, then the pact between Apocalypse and New Genesis is broken. So I guess that's what's spurned the Fourth World. The pact is broken, and Darkseid is on his move against the forces of New Genesis. I thought it was interesting. Now, it happened a little too quick, and I understand, again, the 1970s trappings. We didn't really get to see a lot of trust built to Orion, but I do like the fact that Jack Kirby puts a little effort into the trust building with Orion and Highfather, about how Orion's like, you know what, you speak in a way that I like. You're not like these people on Apocalypse. Maybe I should trust you. And then also, Tigra lets the reader know, she's telling Darkseid that Orion has never seen Darkseid.
So it's very possible that Orion truly thinks Highfather is his father, and um, not just some stranger that's adopting him. So that's pretty interesting. I believe in the next issue of Forever People, Orion is going to go back to Apocalypse and fight Darkseid. So we're going to see all these things tie together. And I don't really want to talk about the rest of Fourth World. I'm supposed to be talking about New Guys number 7, but overall great issue. Orion's quickly becoming a favorite character of mine. I really like Orion, but I still think Mr. Miracle, Big Barda, and Light Ray are my fan favorites. I do like Metron. I mean, I like the whole concept, but this was still a solid issue, and I'm looking forward to this. On the cover. Well, that'll do me for now. I hope you guys enjoyed this read through. I know these can be kind of matter of fact and monotone, so I try to do my best to make these fun. I try to zoom in the camera so you guys can see the material and kind of follow along. Let me know if you enjoyed this read along, if you enjoyed the issue, if you like Orion, New Gods, Jack Kirby, Fourth World, all that kind of stuff. Until next time, guys.